Hello, in this video I will comprehensively tell what some of the best bike around the $1,000 to $2,000 or 800 to 1600 pound mark are. Now our priorities when making this list are somewhat different from those made by others. We give more precedence to frame quality, manufacturing standards and size choices available which stand at least 6. We make no secret of the fact that we would rather ride a good fitting bike with Sora than an ill fitting bike with Tiagra. For that reason, you may not see some of the more well spec bikes on paper that come in 4 or 5 sizes. Because fit is the most important thing when it comes to buying a road bike. Also, I firmly believe that most people who are not very serious racers should not be riding race bikes but all rounder or endurance bikes. And that is what this list is mainly comprised of. Also, we ditch fancy stuff like hidden cables and instead favor utility and function over form. We don't think the bikes in this list look that bad anyway. So we start off with the introductory models which come in at around 800 pound or $1,000. Most of these models will be centered around the Shimano Claris group set. I will give a general idea of which four of the bikes would work for you. For starters, it is very hard to go wrong with the Giant Content 2. The only qualm with this bike is that it isn't an out and out endurance bike as and is more of an all-rounder in terms of its geometry. So it could still be a bit too aggressive for some riders. However, its incredible versatility and simplicity make it hard to look beyond, which come in the form of a rim brake bike that can take up to 32 mil tires. Also, it is equipped with a very neat saddle that has a large cutout and is one of the best saddles on any bike at this price point. If you want a more endurance oriented bike than the content, then you can get the specialized Alley. Its tire clearance is more limited than the content, but at 28C for strictly road riding, it should be just enough. For places like India where specialized aren't present yet, the Domane is an okay alternative. It could have done with internal cable routing, but the geometry is very forgiving and the size range very diverse and consistent. The Sculptura 100 is the choice for those riders who are looking to subsequently race. That said, its geometry is not as aggressive as carbon Sculpturas and is actually quite similar to the content. However, it lags behind the content in terms of tire clearance and rack and fender mount compatibility, and hence, when both are available, it's hard to recommend it over the content. It's still a good bike overall though. Now I do reckon that at least one and preferably more of these four bikes are available in your region, and if we talk about bikes in the 800 pound or $1,000 price range, these would be our recommended option. At the 100 pound or $1,300 mark, the options we recommend do get an upgrade to mostly Sora components, but there are new entrants. The Sora bikes include the Giant Content 1 as well as the Specialized LS Sport. We are not sure about all regions, but in some you will get the Canyon Endurance AL6 rim brake with the Tiagra group set within this price point, and if so, it is worth getting the Endurance over the other two if you are sure about the fit and you know your numbers, because you will be buying it online. At 1200 pounds or $1,700, things get interesting. You usually have the option of a Tiagra hydraulic disc brake bike or a Shimano 105 rim brake bike. In the rim brake options, you could get a Giant Content XL1, which is an outstanding bike for the price and of course mirrors the geometry of the content but comes with a better frame set. You also have the option of the Evergreen Alley Elite. This Merida Sculptura 400, which is usually priced a bit less than the other two bikes here, is again a very good option at this price range. We'll move on to the disc brake options then. Canyon's Endurance 6 disc brake version can be priced very aggressively in some regions, and hence if you're very sure about your size, this could be a great option. Giant Content SL2 disc is another really sweet bike at this price range and comes with a very healthy tire clearance of 34C, which combined with hydraulic braking could make it a very good rainy day bike. Onto the upper echelons of the price range we are suggesting bikes in, we would be looking at bikes at the 1500 pound or $2,000 mark. This list will mainly include hydraulic disc brake bikes with Shimano 105. The most obvious inclusion has to be the Giant Content SL1 disc, which again shines with its tire clearance and versatility. A very good alternative is the Canyon Endurance 7.0 disc. If these two bikes are not available, you could look at the Merida Sculptura 400 disc. Now, I must say that the prices may vary and are not set in stone, but this gives a general idea about the different price brackets and what bike you should be looking at within those brackets. If this video has helped you decide your bike and you are happy with the purchase, you may share some of the joy with a super thanks button subsequently. I am and will always remain unsponsored by any brand, and this is the only way I can stay neutral and do this full time. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.